Welcome to the Tactical Dad podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Cook, and I am the Tactical Dad. Excuse me. In this episode 69, we are talking AR-15s, so a rifle, specifically the AR-15 for home defense. As we know from just facts, data, evidence that it is becoming more and more popular. I think one, because it just looks the coolest, in my personal opinion. But two, there's also many reasons why it might be preferable to somebody over a pistol, handgun, or a shotgun. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I have all three, but I think if there was an intruder, someone was breaking into my home, me and my family were entering a situation with a threat, I think I'd pull my rifle out, my AR-15. I think I would. So, although I'm very comfortable with all three, and I have run with dry fire and my Mantis X and my Mantis training setup and all of my dry fire tools and practice, I've run through it with them all. I think I would choose the rifle. So it's becoming way more popular. We know from the data that more people are buying a rifle, an AR-15, over a handgun and a shotgun. We also know that more ammunition has been purchased in the caliber of what your typical AR-15 is going to use. So it's going to be 223 or 5.56. It's going to be .223 or 5.56 millimeter cartridges. That's like common. That's the most common for the AR-15 platform, and we know that more of that ammunition has been purchased because it's a regulated goods. So thankfully we know that information. We also know that most people are choosing to purchase this for specifically the reason of home defense, over hunting and over like competitive shooting, which you could classify as recreational shooting. So that's what we know, and it would be very helpful to discuss just briefly in short. I'm no rifle expert, it would be good to discuss in short some reasons why the AR-15 is becoming more of a popular choice, and for good reason, popular choice for home defense. So let's just jump to a pistol, for example, because that was previously, and it still may be on a macro level, but a pistol was always like the choice because it's smaller, you can maneuver it, easy to move around, easy to maneuver, and it can hold, and 8 to 16 to even more rounds. So that was preferable because of how easy it was to move around. And then a shotgun was also a choice, and still is the main choice for a lot of people, because you can basically have terrible aim because obviously the spread of a shotgun shell is wider than just a single bullet of a gun or a rifle. So you can have poor aim with a shotgun and still be okay, still get away with it. But with a rifle, with the long length of a rifle barrel actually helps you aim better because you can see the thing pointing. So like just looking externally, just holding a rifle up and seeing this long barrel and pointing, you can acquire targets a little faster, which is a good thing. So that goes hand in hand with getting on target. Another thing to consider with the typical rounds that you would use, 223 or 5.56, they're going through any drywall, which then takes us back to some gun safety. I think it's rule number 4 we talked about. In many cases, it's rule number 4, knowing what your aiming at and knowing what's behind what you're aiming at, knowing what's behind the target, because it's likely that whatever you're going to shoot, it's going to go through it. So you need to know what's on the other side. And in most homes, you know, there's not many bricks or things in between the walls, the drywall, that can stop a bullet. So it's very likely in most homes in America that the 223 or 5.56 is going straight through that. So you know what's beyond that wall. One point that somebody has made is that the rifle is extremely loud, so it could permanently damage your ears. However, so is a pistol and so is a shotgun. Like, they're all loud, and if you're inside your house and you're in that situation to protect yourself, to protect your home, your family, you're running the risk of your ears being damaged for life anyway. But like, what do you want to do? You want to protect and maybe struggle with your hearing for the rest of your life, or would you rather have good hearing and possibly be dead? Like, it's a no-brainer. Like, everything's loud at that point. So the noise of a rifle is like an irrelevant, it's a moot point. It doesn't matter. So this leads us into sort of getting set up with an AR-15. It's starting to become more of a preferred choice as a home defense weapon. And I think, like I said, I think I would choose the rifle now. And I actually get through Mantis X training, I find my performance is better in terms of speed and accuracy with my rifle than it is than my pistol. So that might be one of the reasons, thinking about it, why I'm just like subconsciously moving to choosing the rifle. But that was a side note. So let's talk some essential things that you should get on your rifle. People love to like trick the shit out of the rifles. They love to buy all sorts of gadgets and things. I have a few things, and no doubt I'll trick all my rifles out even more over time. But what you should at least start with, if you're buying a rifle, it's for home defense. You got the gun, you got your ammunition. You need some sort of flashlight. Because if you think about it, it's probably going to happen at night in the dark. If someone's breaking into your home, it's going to be at night, so you need a flashlight. And you want the flashlight to be a powerful one. You want the flashlight to be designed to be a flashlight for a gun, to be mounted onto your rifle. So it's going to be of, 1,000 at least, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, geez, anywhere up to 3,000 lumen, so super bright. Because then that would also act as another element of self-defense. Rather than shooting the person, if you hit them with a big bright light, it kind of stuns, like, can't really see what's there. Super bright light. And also you can see what you're shooting at. So you need to install some sort of flashlight or a flashlight system. The next thing you want to consider is the sights. Now most rifles already come with iron sights installed. Mine didn't, but most do. I would go ahead and have them installed if you don't have them, because an iron sight, like, it always holds zero. There's no battery. It's a manual thing. It's not going to run out of battery. It's not going to break in terms of, it's built like a red dot or a holographic sight. And any type of optic, you're eliminating that possibility. It's a manual iron sight. It's always going to be there. It's always going to help. It's always going to hold zero. So have that installed. But then I'm also going to say, go with a red dot, like a reflex red dot, because they're the most simplest in their construction, how they're built. They last forever. They're built very simply. They're built to be very sturdy and strong, and they're built to withhold, like, to take a beating. So if you've just bought a gun just in case, reflex red dot is great, because it can just sit on. You could even leave the battery on. It's going to last for like 50,000 hours, most of them. Ours does. If it's just going to sit in a safe, then, like, it's fine, because the reflex red dot optic is made to last forever like that. Or if you're going to use it a lot, you're going to bang it around and bounce it around, it's also great because it's been designed to handle that. Once you start getting into fancier optics, this is just my personal opinion. Once you start getting into fancier optics, more complex optics, it leads to the possibility of it breaking more or something going wrong. And in terms of self-defense, home defense, protecting your family and your children and your wife and anything like that, you want simple that works. Now, I'm not saying these other more complex optics don't work. I just wouldn't want to run the risk when I know there's a stupidly simple type that can last forever and that has like the highest probability of working and working fine in the event of. So I would consider those two things for sure. Some sort of flashlight and definitely a sight system, and include a reflex red dot. That's why my company and me and my business partner, that's why we launched a reflex red dot, because it's one of those things that is almost an essential item for many competitive shooting or home defense. So I would go with them. Right, this podcast is 11 minutes. Right, that's all from me today on that particular subject, the AR-15 rifle, which is becoming a very popular and for good reason home defense choice of weapon. They are my personal suggestions for what is essential to have on it. There's tons of things you can have on it. Before we go, there's one thing I would suggest not having, and somebody made this point to me. The rifle that you're going to use for home defense, make sure that it doesn't have a sling on it. And think about it, in your home, there's too many things that a sling could hook onto accidentally, and that's what you don't want. So if you only have one rifle and you do multiple things with it, just make sure at night when you're putting it away, when you're putting it in your safe, take the sling off. I thought that was a very good point, which I now do. So that's all from me today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you learned something. I hope that was helpful. If anybody thinks I missed something important to have on a rifle that's specifically beneficial for home defense, then please reach out, message, email, even call and talk to me. I want to know more things. I want to learn more, and I'm open to learning from you if you know better. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.